Hey guys, so do you remember back in August when I made that video about like hair experiments and I got a bunch of my dreads together and was playing with ways to put them in my hair and thinking about maybe doing cyberlocks in the future just because I'm so tired of having long boring brown hair. Yeah, well, something that occurred to me is I've never actually been through my interesting hair history because a lot of that phase occurred while I was taking my break from YouTube. So I thought tonight we'll go through all the crazy hairstyles that I've done, and I'll be looking at my pictures on Facebook because I can't be bothered to, go through and sort them all. I've got them all arranged on Facebook, so that's what we'll do. And right now, because I've got a fancy computer, I've downloaded NVIDIA Broadcast, and that lets me do fancy stuff like this. The background erase isn't perfect, but I'm pretty excited. My computer is just like, hey, this is easy as. So yeah, we can have a look at my Facebook and all the different hairstyles. But so the first one I'm going to start off with is just, this is a couple of weeks before I first did my hair interesting. And it's also like a little bit after I discovered the hair straightener. So this is the first time I had nice hair, but it's the same thing I kind of have now. It's just boring hair, not quite as long, but pretty boring. But the outfit's nice, so I just thought I'd show you some of that. This was at my grandparents', was it their 60th anniversary or, one of those big celebrations, and I went dressed all goth and they had this cool wall, and yeah, but yeah, so that's me looking all fancy in the gothic, but I had the boring kind of brown hair. So, this is me getting my hair done fancy for the first time ever. You can see me sort of awkwardly blinking in that second photo, but you get the idea. I went from boring brown to something a bit more interesting. At the time, I was keeping like a strip of the brown hair there, but I've done the front black, I've got the white puffy anime kind of hair at the back, and then the red at the bottom, and we can see the rear view, like it was really poofy, and they told me like how to get that kind of poof, that volume. Yeah, it was pretty fun and interesting. Here's me. I think this is the day after. No, that was the day off because I'm still wearing the same shirt. And then there will be some fancy stuff. But yeah, you see here's the side view. Oh, there's some bonsai in the background there too. Wow. Gosh. The rear view again. Another side view. Aw, aren't I cute? It's like the closest thing to a modeling pose. Hey. Anyway, no, this is the day after when I put on the clothing that I bought that day. So I think, did I have the shoes before that? I don't remember, but I definitely bought the dress and the waist cincher. That waist cincher doesn't fit me anymore because I finally put on some weight after so many years. I might get it modified one time though because I still like it. But yeah, no, I got the dress and I think I got the shoulder thing as well. Everyone, because I did this around the end of the year in 2011, and people thought I was getting the outfit for New Year's Eve, and no, I was just getting it because I'm me. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But it's a bit tame in the sense that, I did keep that brown section. And then the black and the white, they're not too extreme colors. And then the red, that was Vampire Red in Manic Panic. It stains your neck like crazy. It's a bit annoying to wash your hair and have that happen. But yeah. So that was my first ever, at the end of 2011, my first ever, oh, insane. Yeah, that's me. My first ever fancy hair. Anyway, so this hairdo I kept for like ages. I think I kept it for about 6 months and I just let it fade, and I ended up looking like ice cream because I had like that sort of brown and then the white, and then the red had turned to a sort of pink, so it was kind of like chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and there were people who thought that was what I was intentionally going for. But yeah, no, it's like getting your hair done like this. It's not cheap. It can be a couple hundred, or it depends on how much you have done. So yeah, I didn't go back for ages, and it didn't look so bad. So with the next hairstyle that I did, I don't have the greatest photos of it here. I mean, maybe there's more on Facebook, but this is just the album. I can't be bothered to find it. But yeah, so at the time, it's basically the same kind of hairdo. I've got the black section, then the brown section, then the white, but at the bottom I made it blue, and that's because I was working at Officeworks at the time. They actually hired me when I had the ice cream hair, so they're all cool with this. But yeah, I went blue sort of to match the uniform, because it was a good job back then before things went a little bit crazy. yeah, and then you can see I've got like this little red stripe because if you look at their logo, they have a little red thingy in it. On the other side, if I just go back, so down the bottom there is that's like a dread, and then I think the other side I just had a little bit of red synthetic hair, and it was glued in, which I don't like the glued in style, but that was my first time doing it. So yeah, and I can see a little bit of a pimple there, but it's a little bit boring compared to the last one, but you know, playing around, experimenting. It took me a while to decide what colors I had, and I think when I had this hair is when I met Hopi, and he chewed on my little blue dread, and that's what made me keep him. Like, I was like, this is my dog, as opposed to any of the other dogs. He was the first one to chew on my dread, and I was like, oh. Anyway, so that was in June 2012. Oh, that's their dog. The next hairstyle that I did in October in 2012, I went for a sort of a spring theme because October here is spring. So, and yeah, I wore my cute but psycho shirt. But so if we can get a closer one, like you can see the pink, I had the black, and then I think there's still a strip of brown, and then the pink, but we'll get a close one. Yeah, at the back, so you can see it's kind of like a flower, like I had the green for the leaves of the thing, and then I had the pink for the flower, and that's the first time I had, I think they call that an etching, the shaved bit on the back, so that was exciting for me, and it's a little bit different, especially going short. I think that's the first time I went short up the back, whereas before I just had the long bit still, and going short at the back is one of the best things, especially like now I've got such long hair. I just it's tiring, you know, and it gets really hot in summer, in the warmer weather. In winter it's fine, but as the weather gets warmer, so this was a really good idea, I think. And yeah, then I discovered all the other dreads and the tubies and so on, and went a little bit crazy with extra bits. Oh god, they're little that's Pookie. It was their dog. So cute. This is at Fur. They used to be in Newtown. They closed down a while back though. Yeah, and you can see the way that they put in the dreads this time, instead of gluing, because I didn't like the gluing, they sewed it in. Now this wasn't the best method. Braiding is better because it's so much easier to take out. So it's maybe not as secure, but it's easier when you want to change things. But it was, yeah, it was still good. Oh, so cute. And then yeah, this is me on the YouTubes. I think maybe I did appear on camera with this hairstyle, or maybe I just used my webcam to take a photo, I don't know. But you can see a little bit more of the dreads that I had. Yeah, so that is that the last one? Ah, and then this one is in November 2012. So how long did I have that hairstyle? October, November. Looks like only 2 months. Yeah, I don't know. I guess flowers and pink stuff isn't really me, but it was a fun hairstyle. And yeah, I think I must have had a little bit of the brown in there, but you can't really see. Maybe I went all black for the first time and just got rid of that section. I think I kept the brown strip just because I wanted to have like a bit of authentic or whatever, but I got over that after a while. So anyway, this is the first time I did something really extreme, and actually I think this is my most expensive hairstyle I ever did with them. It cost about like $500 because apart from the cut and color, I had like all the different dready things, and I think I've mentioned this previously. The hairdresser was like, no, I'm cutting you off now, because after all this I wanted to get foamies, like, you know, you see in Cyberlocks they have the little foam strips, and she's like, no, I think you've got enough. So you can see I've got a few different kinds of dreads in there. We've got a side view, we've got lots of cyber crin, so the thin and the thick versions. Yeah, the synthetic dreads, there's a few like 2-color ones in there. I think there's also some plastic tubies. Oh, that's the back. So I would often come in with a concept. So the first time I think I just wanted something a little bit maybe vampire-ish, I guess, with a vampire red, and I was just into the black, white, red, which is the colors of my logo or whatever kind of image. The second time was more of an Officeworks. The third time was that spring kind of feel. This time I think I was inspired by a sort of sunset over the water. So you can see that most prominently at the back in the color choices. Now, the hairdresser wasn't happy with the exact colors that I put together because she was worried they'd wash together into like a horrible brown mess. So this isn't quite what I was after, but it was like the closest she would do for me, with the orange and then the purple, and then you can sort of see it goes into an ocean kind of thing without clashing too much. And then the choice of dread color is sort of following a similar scheme, but I think I just like completely went crazy. In the middle, I think I've got a little bit of a darker kind of thing, but at the front is red. And you can see in the middle there, the red, that's as far as you could go because I had done the rest black, and then bleaching over black is kind of a pain, so I had to regrow that. And I would do this many times. I would start growing out, like doing the regrowth different color, and then I'd change my mind and go back to black again. So I never really got the full fringe to be one color other than black. But yeah, no, here's me sort of mucking around. This photo you might have seen around because I use it on a lot of cover pics. It's one of my favorites of this because I mean, it's kind of artsy. My brother took this photo for me. So the angle's all artsy, which, like, well done. I didn't expect him to do that. And you can see all the little dready things and then the hair popping out at the back. And I used to love doing that anime. You use, like, this powder, like stardust powder or something, or I don't remember. I've got some in the bathroom. I just can't remember what it's called. And you puff it up and you can back comb it, and that's how it stays up. And then you, like, spray it and so on. Oh, my God. Hope he was so young. I'd only had him, like, a few months then. Wow, and he hadn't gotten his long fur yet, so yeah, I still had braces then. Can you see that huge gap in my teeth? Oh my goodness. Oh, isn't that sweet? Oh my god. Oh my god, so cute. And I used to wear that spiky collar everywhere. I still have spiky collars, I just don't wear them so much because, you know, you get sweaty and then your neck gets irritated, and I wore that one so much that like it was gross by the time I got rid of it. I think I've still got it. I just don't ever wear it. Alright, so it looks like I kept this hairdo for about 4 months, which is pretty long as far as these things go. Not as long as the first time, because the first time, like, you know, it faded nicely, but I hadn't quite become addicted to the whole alternative hairstyle thing. But yeah, once you get into it, 4 months is a long time because that's a lot of time for regrowth to happen. So even if you're happy with the way something fades, you do start seeing the roots, like your natural hair color coming through. But, you know, I was in the salon for about 7 hours getting this done, and it cost about $500. So you kind of want to try and stretch it out when you're spending that much money. Yeah, 7 hours, I'm not kidding. I think because like bleaching things the right colors takes a while, and then just installing so many dreads and sewing them all in individually, it took a long time. So, you know, I think in the beginning I used to take a book to read, but depending on, like, I think as time went on, I sort of started falling asleep while they were doing some of this work, and that's a little bit embarrassing. Especially like some things they want you to like stay still, and so if you're falling asleep, it's like, no, I gotta stay awake because they don't want me to move. But anyway, yeah, no, 7 hours and $500, that's the most intense I've ever had. Anyway, so 4 months later, I think 4 months, yeah, that's about it. So 4 months later, here's me in March of 2013, and I decided to get my hair done like Hope, or as close as I could. So you can see, oh, I did still have that brown patch. I thought I got rid of it. Anyway, no, so I know it looks ridiculous, but like Hope is a white dog, so most of my hair I did white, and then I had that orange bit was because, you know, trying to bleach into the black hair dye, it's difficult, so that was sort of like the in-between compromise. Then you've got my brown hair, and then you've got black bits, because Hope has those sort of brown and black bits, and then I put my little ears in. So yeah, this is probably one of the like weirdest, like what the fuck were you thinking kinds of ones, but here's my baby, and I just was like, I'm gonna look like my puppy, or as close as I can get to it. The orange looks a little bit over the top in this, but hey, close enough. Oh my god. And then, yeah, I had this funny little paw print thing at the back. So you can kind of see where they couldn't quite get all the old color out when they bleached it again. But yeah, no, can you see that design on the back is vaguely based on a paw print, but with like a lot of artistic license. Oh, and still I got the braces. Oh, look at me trying to be cute. Okay, and then this is my winter gaunt hair. the next month. So maybe about 6 weeks later. So by this point, I had joined Wintergaunt, which was my first proper band, and I came up with this whole winter demon thing. So if you've seen my Wintergaunt pictures, I should have grabbed them, but I totally forgot. Maybe I can edit something in. I used to wear this mask, this wintry mask, and it worked really well with this idea. So I was going for a winter look. I kept a red patch though, and it's on my was on my left or my right side? I don't even know. That's not a mirrored picture, so I must have done it on that side. I don't know. I feel like I would have done it. Sometimes I went a bit symbolic, and I don't entirely remember why the red is there, but it's a thing anyway. So lots of blues and then the white, and then you can see with the tubies, I've got silver, cybercrayon, and then I've got some dreads in there, blues and whites and so on. Oh, and did you see on that previous one, I've also got, they ironed in those little sparkly things. I've still got a packet of that. I don't know if it's still good. That's the only time I ever used it, but they hadn't used it either, and I'm like, I'll be the experiment. Let's do that. So iron in diamonds or something. And they actually lasted really long. I think like I can't even remember how they came out, but like I was very careful brushing around them, and they stayed really nicely. But yeah, so that's that view. They had a little bit of a winter thing for my etching at the back. So like I really started to fall into the pattern of having longish at the front and very short at the back. Which I like that, because then you get the look of long hair at the front, but then you get the tidiness and the less heat trapped at the back, and it's like, you know, it's just easier. I liked having short hair way back because it's so low maintenance, but I also like the look of the long hair. Let's see, you see the side view there. And then me standing in front of a thing. Oh yeah, I also had, so you can see some messy things around that area. I had synthetic hair put in, so like white or silvery, because I think like to actually have white dyed hair with all the other colored hair, the white risks picking up that, and so by the end it doesn't look white anymore. It's got the colors of the other stuff seeping in, because anytime you wash your hair it sort of leaks out and it can color the other hair or like tinge it. So the solution was synthetic hair, but the problem with that is synthetic hair doesn't untangle the way human hair does. Like you can try and brush it, but it takes forever and it doesn't last very long like that. Like you're constantly fighting to keep it from tangling. So by the end of this hairstyle, it turned into a dread anyway, but an ugly one that wasn't really designed that way. But yeah, no, it was fun to try, but I learned a lot just by experimenting with these things. Anyway, so this hair I had for the whole time that I was gigging with Wintergaunt. I don't remember what the first month was that we gigged, but I know we finished up in about August, and then one of the band members left, and it all kind of collapsed from there. But the whole time I had this hairdo. I think when it faded, it would have just gone a lighter blue, which works with the whole winter thing. I mean, the red bit, not so much, but the rest of it works with the winter thing, so no worries. I was able to keep that all the way through to September. Oh, one more thing. So, as you can see here, this is the first time that I completely got rid of the brown. Like, definitely you can see in this, there is no brown left. So I finally bit the bullet and got rid of my natural hair, and it's completely colored. Anyway, so in September, I went for more of a midnight themed hair. So you can see it starts off black and then it sort of merges back to a dark blue and then a purple. And it's sort of a more subdued kind of thing. And I remember what I was going through at the time, because by then I had broken up with my ex, but he'd also like come back into my life. And I think it was just messing with my head and I wasn't feeling as like energetic. So yeah, this is one of the more subdued hairstyles. Like I didn't even have the etching. I just had it short, but not shaved. Yeah, and so very much my hair would symbolize the different stages of life I was going through. But I got some cute photos with Hope out of this. Like, my gosh, isn't he adorable? Oh my god, he got me there. Oh wow, but it's some nice purples. Just not the most exciting hairstyle that I had. This is also the hair, once that faded, I'm pretty sure this is the hair I had when I did Zombie Walk for the first time. So, oh my god, isn't that adorable? Look at him. And I've got the purple arm warmers. Purple's actually a good one for if you're trying to match things for goth. If you don't want to do like the red and black goth, you can do purple and black. Yeah. Ah, and then we've got random dog photos with Hope and Marley when they were a bit younger. Oh, look at Marley. More random doggy photos. I don't know why these are in my hair album, but okay. Alright, so it looks like I had this hair for the rest of the year. So September, October, November, December, January, February. I had it for 5 months. And yeah, I probably just let it fade because like it just sort of fades to a light purple. Not too bad. And I really struggled at the end of 2013 because my ex was just being like, he was messing with my head a lot. But at the end of the year, I finally just was like, you know what? No. He used to gaslight me. So, you know, I'd be confused and think I was the crazy one. But eventually, like, I broke out of that because I kind of knew I wasn't. It just took me a while to fully like go, no, actually, I'm done with this. And so the next hairstyle that I did, you can see that I'm like, I'm back. I'm back. And I'm more fiery than ever. So yeah, this is in February of 2014 and I went for a full-on fire theme. Still got black at the front, but then we get all the fiery goodness. I had red and yellow and black for the dreads, and I had little tubies again, the plastic tubey things. And then here you can see at the back, like it's actually spiked up like a fire theme. And then behind I have this really cool etching where it's like actually like flames. Like this is probably one of my favorite ones in terms of the etching. Because like it's neatly done and it fits the theme really well. And yeah, the spikiness, oh my god, it's so much fun. And there's me and then doing a little face and with the glasses. And then I got photobombed by Marley, and I'm sorry about all the edits because it's 10 o'clock and my bro's walking around and it's just like, oh my gosh, look at Marley. He's such a camera hog. Like, he actually likes having his photo taken, and he also loves hugs. Hope he is not as into the camera. I think my notes say that he was actually waiting on some food. But there you go. Some more of Marley. Oh my goodness. And I think that's some guinea pig food in the back. But no, the important thing is the hair, not Marley. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, you can see some more of the gradient in there. The yellow to red sort of transition was really cool. I really like that. When you get things done professionally, it shows. But anyway, so moving on, I think I kept the fire hair for about 6 months because I really liked it, but also when things are sort of yellow, especially the reds and all that, it would just fade to a sort of orange. I think it's probably, you can get away with it a bit better than some of the other colors, the way they fade. Sometimes you just like, oh, I really want to get more, and now I've got like furbles. Anyway, so the next hair that I did, and this was in August of 2014, so yeah, about 6 months later, and around this time would have been when I started my girl band and was starting to get into it, so that explains why I went for the pink. Yeah, that's a really bright pink, and I was starting to do the purple. You can see, like, you know, I'd just gone back to black again, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna try and grow it out. Just never was able to stick to it, but yeah, no, I tried. Purple was sort of close-ish to black as far as those colors go, so I guess I was trying to use that to do the transition, but oh my god, I could just never stick to it. Anyway, and you can see with the dreads, so I think those are Elise Star dreads. They're my favorite brand of synthetic dreads. They're machine made, so, you know, a lot of people want the more realistic ones. I think I showed them in the other video, but the more realistic ones, they're very heavy and the texture is a bit different. I really like these, they're smooth and all that. And they're the 2-color ones, so the blue and yellow spiral, and then I think the pink might have been pink and white or pink and yellow, and then the purple and white or silver. They're a really nice combination, I really liked them. But yeah, so you can see I went for the pink. Oh, that was a lot closer than I thought. I don't know if these might have been taken on my DSLR way back. Or maybe they just uploaded to Facebook differently. I don't know. They're a lot more. But anyway, yeah, no, pink's really nice. And then, yeah, the short at the back. Not as puffed up because I guess that's not really as important for this style. But you can really see that I've fallen into the long front, short back. And I think that's what I would do again because the look of long on the front is nice. But having that air at the back and you know, it's just more practical. It's kind of like you get the best of both worlds, I feel. But yeah, just completely pink at the back. So that was the hairstyle that I had while I was sort of, yeah, starting the girl band. About 3 months later though, this is my hair now. This is in November 2014, and I think that's when we launched Rainbow Death Ray. So we launched it on the 14th of November 2014. Just got distracted by a noise. I'm sorry this video is so like chop 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 chop. But yeah, trying to film when I can is a little bit difficult. Anyway, so I think what's going on with this hair, it's a little bit hard to see in this lighting, but the front I think is a pale pink rather than a white. And then, you know, at least as far as I can go where I've got the black. And then I've sort of gone more of a white. I'm not sure if I did the end bits like that yellow-red kind of color like on purpose, or if it was because like the old color might have been hard to get out, but I don't think so. Maybe it's a choice. It has that kind of fiery look, and I think, you know, going for a bit of a rainbow thing, we're going from white to yellow to red, and it looks like a little bit of blue at the bottom, so maybe that's a rainbow choice, but you can really see why it's Rainbow Death Ray hair. From the side, you can start to see the etching at the back. There you go. So I've got the rainbows there. I probably could have gone for more rainbows throughout, but the hairdresser at the time really didn't want me mixing certain colors. But I don't know, I'm sure I could have transitioned it, but for some reason I just wanted to go white. White is a sort of difficult thing though, because you have to bleach it really well, and then I think you have to use a toner to get it that color instead of it being yellowy. But yeah, no, and then the etching at the back. It's not the neatest one I ever had, but yeah, I got the rainbows, and then I'm like, yeah, this is my Rainbow Death Ray hair. So that was in November of 2014, around about the time that we launched the band. And then in February of 2015, I sort of did something similar where it's a stronger pink at the front and still white, but then I've got the tubies back in, but different colored tubies. Not entirely, like, this is a button shop that I took a photo in front of, but yeah, no, so you can see the etching at the back is different. Instead of going for like the round rainbow, it's more of a sort of squares and triangles rainbow. And then you can see, yeah, there we go, there's my, I've got that fluorescent green and the silver and some of my older, so those spiral dreads put in, and oh my gosh, I think I might have still been on antidepressants. I think I went on antidepressants maybe back when I was with my ex, because, you know, I was living with him, and rather than, like, I tried taking antidepressants to not feel so shit about that situation, which obviously didn't work. But yeah, I think I was still on them, and maybe I was starting to come off them around this time because I had a different job. I don't know, but like, I was a little bit crazy around this time for sure, and just had a weird sort of energy, and that fluoro green is, I don't know that I would do that ever again. It was a very odd time for me, that band as well. Like, it had, some of the sounds were a bit morbid, but no, the sounds were bouncy. The themes, the lyrical themes were a bit morbid sometimes, but it was a really bouncy kind of like vibe, and I was like, ah, all the time. Post-depression, definitely not me. And yeah, the thing about going on antidepressants is sometimes, like, you've seen me bouncing off the walls at that time, but when I came off them as well, I also had like brain zaps, and I was like all like on edge as well. So I don't know if that's what was happening here, but I did. It was an odd time in my life. So here's my next hairstyle that I did, and this one, I think my hair, I might have dyed completely black, and then I focused on the dreads for the color, and these photos were taken in front of a wall at Kinokuniya. They had like an origami thing going on, but yeah, so completely black at the back, short, and then long black at the front, and then I had all these sort of dreads. Now, these were custom designed by Wicked Dreads. She's a friend of mine in Sydney. We did Pokemon Go together later on, but yeah, she made these dreads. I sent her, like, you know, the sort of design that I wanted, based on things she'd done in the past, and then she made them like perfectly to what I had asked for. So there's 5 or 6 different colors. I think I showed you in that the other video about where I was playing with my dreads, and then there's crisscrossy bits at the bottom, and they were all installed with the black there. Still in the sewing method. So she made the dreads for me, but I went back to fur to actually get all installed. And yeah, and this is like I was still doing Rainbow Death Ray, so I was still going through the rainbow theme. These ones though, because I think they're crochet dreads, so they're very heavy, and when you're doing head banging, there's a lot more force going in them. So by this point, I was used to having dreads again. Whereas, yeah, like I sort of built myself up over time. I mean, when I had that really crazy $500 one, most of those were tubies to get that look, and then the synthetic dreads that weren't as heavy. So that was relatively easy, whereas this is full on crochet dreads and quite a lot of them. And so it does pull. And then when you're head banging, if I got annoyed at a gig with someone next to me, I would intentionally swing my hair their way and they'd sort of get the idea to back off. It was a fun time. But yeah, today I could not go straight back to them because they are pretty full on. Okay, I think Dave's finally gone to bed so we can get on with filming this. But yeah, so this hair, okay, something I missed is that I started off with one hairdresser at fur, and then it changed to another hairdresser at fur, and they were both ladies and they were both really good. I think I preferred the second lady better because she was better at going with what I wanted, and instead of saying, oh no, you can't have that, especially with like color combinations, she was much more like, yeah, okay, let's do that. And so she would have done this hairstyle, and this is the last hairstyle I had with her. I don't know exactly when it changed from one lady to the other, but I know this is the last one I had with the hairdresser I really liked, and yeah. But she'd been trained by the previous girl, I think, and so she also sewed these dreads into my hair. And so when she left, I was really upset. And I'll show you the next hairdo that I did. But yeah, this one I really liked. The next hairdo though, I think we're gonna start with the etching at the back, and this is the most disappointing thing, is it just doesn't look even, right? It's really like, and so this was done by the dude who I think owned the place, and I just didn't have a good experience with him because, so the last lady, she'd sewn him in, and when you take out those dreads after they've been sewn, the hair like needs a lot of brushing to get the tangles out, whereas if you braid it, it comes out really nicely. And he was saying like, he was talking shit about her and like some of the other people, and also talking shit about clients while I'm there, and so like I didn't even like, it wasn't a pleasant experience having to listen to all that complaining. And the girl who'd booked me in didn't realize that I had things sewn in, and so she didn't book me in with enough time to get it all untangled before I sat down with the dude who was actually doing my hair. They had a whole team thing going on, so you'd have the main hairdresser, and then while you were getting cut, bleaching and color, one of the juniors would do a lot of that with some supervision. But yeah, so he was like really upset that I had that, and just sort of grumbling, and maybe that's why he rushed this, or maybe he was just like careless, and I wasn't really happy, especially when I saw this photo. Like in a mirror, sometimes you don't pick things up, but when I saw this, I was just like, that's crap. But anyway, so I don't even know what the concept was. I think I just went for the black and red kind of vibe again. I needed a break from those really heavy crochet dreads. Yeah, and then got all these weird photos in the cemetery at that little church next to the cemetery at Newtown. But yeah, so this is September 2015. So how long did I have the other one? Let me just go back a bit. That was June. So yeah, July, August, September, about 3 months. But yeah, I was really disappointed with that whole experience, and the etching wasn't really done with enough care. And like, I don't know if I had a concept for this. I think I did have some ideas maybe, but maybe because I didn't really know the guy, I might not have pushed for it so much. So I'm not really sure what was going on here in terms of the design, but yeah, I wasn't really happy. But the red going into the black though, because I had just had all black hair, right? Having the black tips and then having red was kind of fun. I think my very first hairdresser wouldn't have done that because she didn't like the idea of the black potentially mixing with the red. But if the black is already growing out and you don't have to put new hair dye in, then it works well. It doesn't spread. So that was a way of transitioning out of the black again. But you can see I keep dyeing the front black, don't I? But yeah, no, so that was disappointing, and that was the last time. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but that was the last time that I went to fur because my favorite hairdressers had left, and I had my hair done by this guy who was really pretty grumpy. So yeah, that was September 2015. Moving on to November 2015, I changed hairdressers. So previously I'd been with Fur. This time I went to Doppelganger, and I think they're still operating in Newtown. The main difference, like Doppelganger is a sort of smaller operation, or at least it was back when I went there. Fur was like this big kind of production line in a way, like it was always busy. There were a lot of people worked there and a lot of clients. They also used Manic Panic, whereas Doppelganger uses directions. And so this is the first time I went to Doppelganger hair, and I went for like this sort of purple and red theme. Once again, I don't remember the reasons at this point. But yeah, no, the etching, much nicer. The guy who did that, I think I had a guy doing the cut and color, and then I had a girl putting in the dreads, the lady who owned the place. Yeah, and so like it's kind of cute, nothing particularly special, but I think by this point this is when my mental health was starting to go downhill because, my grandmother had died by this point. I was really burnt out from working during the day and then coming home at night and working on the Rainbow Death Ray EP. I really overworked myself at the time, and I think I had come off antidepressants by that point. So my appetite was coming back because the ones that I used to take just destroyed my appetite, and I didn't even realize that's what was happening. At that point, though, I think it hadn't completely destroyed it, but it was suppressing my appetite. So I was eating better at this time, but maybe coming off the antidepressants wasn't a great idea, especially with like all the pressures that I didn't know I was going to be under. And so maybe that's why this one's a bit more subdued. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so like it looks fine. Directions, the problem with this is that hair at the front looks purple. It faded to green, and I was like, how does that even happen? But I think the guy custom mixed the hair dye, and maybe it had more blue or something in the base, and maybe the red had more yellow in the base, and so when other parts come out, all you've got left is green. If you've seen that self-portrait where I'm heaps grumpy, I think that was painted when I had that really sort of greenish, bluish hair there. But yeah, and then I think this is the first time that I had my dreads braided in, and also these dreads. So I think I might have taken my dreads in. No, I didn't. This first time I just asked them if it was possible, and the lady's like, oh yeah, we can do that. And so she, mixed up some of the colors by, I think I'm not sure exactly how, but like when you get different colors of hair strands together, it can change the color subtly. So instead of it being a super bright red, I think she mixed a bit of purple in it to get it to match my hair a bit more and not be so like full on in your face. But like, and it was fine. They were really nice, like skinny dreads. But she decided to make them on my head. Like these were not pre-mades, and they're just like lightly backcombed and twisted, so not crochet either. But the thing I didn't like about that is that she would steam them on my head as well, and the steamer she used was really old and didn't work very well, and she had back problems and was complaining about the pain, and I was like, I didn't want to put you through all that. Like, you could have just said no, and it would be fine. So I had like mixed feelings about that, but she did stay back late, I think, to get them in my head, and yeah, she at least tried with the service, but not entirely my favorite way. I think I'd just get machine made ones. But yeah, so that was my first time at Doppelganger hair. Just a bit disappointing about the color going green. That was super weird. Oh yeah, so I actually got this hair done right before the Rainbow Death Ray EP launch, so like I freshened it up because like it's an event. I tried as much as possible to get my hair done like if there was something I was going to or something I was doing. So a lot of the Rainbow Death Ray hair, also you saw the Winter Gaunt hair, and then other times was just because it was fading and I needed a change. But I really tried. I think when I did the $500 hair, that was just before I went to Japan that year to visit my my family over in Japan, and also like I'd graduated uni by then, I think. So yeah, I did try to get things with events, and this would have been the Rainbow Death Ray EP launch. I think the color is partly because I was starting to get more depressed, so going back to the purple, matching my mood a little bit. But anyway, so the next year I went back to Doppelganger, I think this is in March 2016 now. And so I went for a fire, back to the fire style, but not the intense like flames, but a fiery color. And the notes that I have here is like trying to give myself a visual let's not be depressed thing whenever I look in the mirror. So I was trying, instead of matching my mood, I was trying to be like, no, because by then I had been suffering a bit. Like, by then my grandpa had also died, so I'd been to the two funerals, and I think I was really struggling by this point. I was still doing my band, but I think I must have been seeing psychologists and maybe even psychiatrists at that point, and playing with the medications, and things were just not going well. I was starting to get to that point where going to work was difficult. But I was still hanging in there, and I thought, well, if I do fiery hair, maybe I'll get through this. So this is my last professionally done hair. One thing I didn't mention, Doppelganger, is that was like so much cheaper than going to fur and didn't take nearly as long. I think because like instead of leaving you for ages, passing you off to the juniors, they'd actually pay more attention to you as an individual, like right there you'd have the one hairdresser working on you for like the whole time. And so yeah, I think because of that it didn't take quite so long. And yeah, it was just cheaper, like getting the dreads. Fur used to charge for the dreads to actually buy them and then to install them. This time you can see I've got like that orange and white dread. That's one I brought in myself. So they only charge like a little bit to install it, I think. That yellow one, I had brought in my own yellow dreads from previously when I had it done at fur. And one thing that was really sad for me is the lady, she didn't like that it was a machine-made one because they are a bit looser than human-made ones. But she ripped my whole dread in half, like just untangled it and then made a fresh dread from the hair that she'd pulled out of it. And I was like, kind of unnecessary. Like you could have just freshened it up, but because you can reseal them. But hey, that's what you want to do. Made it really small and skinny. It's a bit weird the way it's installed there. I think I brought back my red dreads from last time. But yeah, she was still struggling, I think, with the steamer and all that. And I still felt that sort of like, oh, I don't really like it when hairdressers complain while they're doing stuff. Like, you gotta think about customer kinds of things. I don't know. Like, she was nice, but it wasn't really the experience I wanted. Especially, I was depressed. I didn't really want to hear about other people's problems. I was really struggling. But one thing that's nice here is you can see that the way that the black is growing out, they've sort of artfully put in with the red, and it looks like my hair's kind of burnt, so it really fit. That was fun how that was. So we didn't do the etching at the back, but we did more of that fire kind of theme, a sort of gradient at the back. And so some of you might recognize this hairstyle because shortly after that, I don't know exactly when, but that's when I got my professional photo shoot done with JJ Marr, and he was really good. He does a lot of like full-on photography with like women wearing a lot less clothing, but I actually felt really comfortable with him. It was a really good experience. And so these ones you can see, these photos are public on my DestroyerMariko. How do I even say my own name? I don't know. But on my DestroyerMariko page on Facebook, yeah, you can see these. Patreon has seen some of the extra photos. Yeah, and so like they had a makeup person and all that, and yeah, it looks nice, like having my hair done fresh, and then I got all these professional photos done. That was really fun. I kind of feel like if I want to get my hair done, I should try and arrange professional photos, but hey, COVID makes that harder, and I don't know what he's doing. Like, I would work with him again, but yeah, I don't know. I would feel weird about going to someone I didn't really know. But that's just me, because some of the guys who get into photography, you don't really know what their intentions are. But yeah, no, and I brought all my clothes in for the photo shoot and showed him, like, what do you think this, and he was like, oh, why not try that and that. And then with posing, he's like, just turn your head slightly this way, and he was really good at directing to get the best results out of that, and, had some fun with my violin. These are some interesting photos. I don't know that many of you guys have seen it because only some of you seem to follow me on Facebook, but here's some stuff you missed out on. Those props are mine, by the way. Oh, you didn't see that coming, did ya? Anyway, and this those pants, oh my god, I miss them. They were fun, but yeah, there's a funny little gap in my shirt, but that's okay. You can't see anything through that. Don't get too excited, guys. But yeah, no, more of the rock star kind of thing. And oh, wow, like the way that they take these photos, now that I've been through it, it's really cool. It's really kind of fun. I mean, is that the last one? But so we've got the white background with the sort of reflective floor. That, yeah, so much fun. We've got the fancy couch kind of thing with the red light going on. This one with more of a purple light and the black background, and then there's the white in the background, and like the amount of things they do to get these photos nice. Anyway, we're sort of off the topic of hair here, but moving on. So that hair is the last time I had it professionally done, because then I got depressed and I ended up not being able to work. I was that broken. So this here is the first time that I ever tried doing my own hair. I didn't do any bleaching. I just waited for that sort of orangey yellow to wash out. So this was in September of 2016. So wow, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, another 6 months later, and I was like it looks fine when you get your hair done yellow and it fades to a pale yellow. It just kind of looks like a blonde kind of color. But I did get a bit bored with it, and I'd also been playing with dreads, like making my own dreads, and so I decided to go green. And I thought green because if I'm not you know, bleaching my roots, then they're going to be brown, right? So if it goes from brown into green, then I'm like a tree. And then I was making these vine-like dreads, and so this is me with my, yeah, I just put the green over the top, and it was actually a nice color. And the product I used was Arctic Fox, and the reason I used Arctic Fox is because after that first go with directions where the purple faded to green, I was like, I don't want that to happen again. So I did a bit of research, and Arctic Fox is actually designed to fade within the same spectrum. So you're not going to get weird stuff like purple to green. It's just going to be green to a slightly paler shade of the same kind of green and all that. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll give this a go. And it worked really nicely. And another thing is, you know, I did that when I had showers afterwards. Usually, like, especially Manic Panic, especially Vampire Red, you'd get stains all around your neck, and it was just like, I don't know, crazy. And like, I'd get stains sort of on the edges of shirts if I wasn't careful. And then when you're having a shower, especially with like, I think with the blues, you could see like all this blue stuff going down your body for the first few showers after you've had it done. This green, even after like my first go having it done, when I went in the shower, you didn't even notice it coming out in the same way. It does fade fairly quickly compared to some of the others, but I didn't get any like staining or anything. It just behaved really nicely. So Arctic Fox, like if I had my choice, maybe Arctic Fox might be one of the ones I'd go for. Although these days I think I'd probably try and go for something longer. So I don't know if there's a long lasting for some of these shades, but yeah, I was really impressed with Arctic Fox. And then this is about a week later after colouring my own hair. Mum put my dreads in for me, so we watched Dr. Locks, which is a YouTube channel I watched a lot to learn how to make the dreads myself. And they also have some tutorials on installation, and I showed it to Mum, and Mum's like, yep, okay, there you go. And she put them in for me, and you can see they're kind of a subdued colour because I was trying to use all my crap colours first. I think I mentioned that in the other video too. But yeah, so I'm sort of getting that sort of vine-like, I guess I'm turning into a Pokemon at this point. And you can see in the background I've got a suitcase, and that's because I actually did this right before going to Japan. I think I was on NDEP at this point in terms of antidepressants. Anyway, so in Japan, another thing you guys might have missed if you're not following my Facebook page, because I don't really post much stuff on Instagram. I didn't get Instagram until later anyway. But yeah, on the Facebook, my DestroyerMariko Facebook page, while I was in Japan, I went to Maison di Giulietta. They've closed down now, but this is a place where you can try on Lolita. Not even gothic Lolita, like full-on cutesy Lolita. And yeah, do a photo shoot. And so I picked out the green dress. I just fit into their clothes, so I'm lucky the green one fit. I didn't really fit their shoes, like I could get them on, but my feet started to cramp after a while, so thank God it was just a photo shoot. and not like me going out anywhere. But yeah, here's me in full-on Lolita mode with my green hair and a matching green dress and cutesy photos. I've also got some photos that I took on my own phone, but in terms of the professional ones, these are the ones that I purchased, because you were allowed to get like 6 downloads with the booking. I think you could pay extra for more, but yeah, no, these are the ones that I picked. This is absolutely not my style. Absolutely not my style, but it was fun to have the experience because I would never buy these kinds of clothes. So you see those shoes, I only just fit into those. And then they're like, yeah, do these poses and all that. I could have got a wig, but I was determined to have my own hair in the photo shoot. And you could also get them to do like fake eyelashes and full on. I mean, they did my makeup already, but I was like, no, I don't need all those extra things. And oh my god, aren't I cute and innocent, guys? Do you believe me? But in the background, it's like, now I growl when I'm pleased and wag my tail when I'm angry. I don't know what that's from. Yeah, me and the creepy cutesy bunny. Oh guys, isn't it adorable? Oh my god, that is me in Japan, Shibuya, in October of 2016. And so that is like, yeah, that's how my hair was. The last time that I colored my hair, because as time went on, I let that fade because I did go through some really deep depressions. And then eventually that bleached area, like I haven't had my hair done, I haven't even had my hair cut since I had that previous one. Where was it? If I go back, I haven't had my hair bleached since I had this hairstyle done. So that was a long time ago, about 4 years, 4.5 years maybe, and you cannot detect any bleached sections in my hair, not really. Maybe it sort of lightens towards the ends, I'm not sure, but it like, while it was growing out, you could definitely see pale patches, but now it's really hard to tell. And I think like over time your hair naturally sheds, so maybe I already shed all the bleached bits, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, so that's my hair history, and right now you can see my hair goes down past my boobs. It's so long, and I know some of you guys like that, but it's annoying. So let me show you what my hair is like today. Ta-da! By the time this video goes up, some of you might have actually clued on that this is the ending of the video, because I've posted this on my Facebook and my Instagram this time. But yeah, so today I went and got my hair did, and now it's not quite as long. It's still long, but not quite as long, and I've got all the weight off the back, and it's so nice because when you have long hair and like it goes down your back, it's just constantly rubbing against your clothes, and that's how it gets even more tangly and annoying, and then yeah, constantly having to like bring things forward. Now I don't have to because it's already forward. And yeah, I'm really happy. And so here we've got my before and after pictures, side view, rear view, because basically it's never gonna look quite as good as this, because like this is day one, I'm gonna sleep on it, and then it's going to sort of get a little bit mangled, and my styling is obviously not as professional as what this guy can do. This is Alex from Escape Hair in Newtown. He used to work at Doppelganger, and I think he did my previous 2 hairstyles that I did at Doppelganger. Not the green one, the ones before that. Yeah, apparently he moved just after I stopped doing my hair professionally. But anyway, yeah, also, as you can see, me in the corner, the background replacement is freaking out because obviously NVIDIA, when they designed this software, were not expecting people with intensely crazy hair. So yeah, it doesn't know what to do with me, but we will bear with. So I'm going to show you some of the pictures, not all of them. This is from my private album, and there's like a lot of progress shots, and you don't need to see all of that. So I'm sorry if I cut up the footage again. But anyway, so here's the before pic, pretty straightforward. You guys have seen this. This has been my hair for the last few years, really, you know, once all the colored bits faded out and dropped out and whatever. Next though, here's the first chunk of hair that we just snipped right off the back because we didn't need it. because like you wouldn't color it all and then chop it. You chop first and then color. And then here's me with bleached blonde hair, and of course I had to show you this one because it's kind of hilarious, and I don't think you guys have ever seen me with the hair like that. But yeah, so obviously to get these bright colors you've got to bleach first, and gosh, it's been so long since I've had a bleach I almost forgot what it was like. Basically, like, try not to wash your hair for a few days before you do it, because having a bit of oil in your scalp stops it from getting, you know, painful. It still feels kind of like warm and almost burny, but not really burning. And your like scalp prickles and all that, and like it's not super comfortable. And this is definitely the hardest part to get through. But yeah, and then like the amount of hair that we were bleaching. So we bleached the ends first because they take the longest, and then you do the roots because he was telling me, because of your body heat, it actually makes the roots bleach faster. So to get it evenly, you got to do it in like sections. And yeah, it came up really nice. Like, wow, it's been so long, especially like having. Oh my god. Usually when I'd go back, I'd already have a little bit of bleach in there, and so you don't have to go for so long. But no, this is bleaching from scratch. So well done me hanging in there. Alright, so I'll show you this one as well because this is the colouring process. It's really interesting when you're sitting there just watching them do it. But yeah, basically, so did the front first, which is all the blues. And there's actually some turquoise and some purple in there as well. And the blues, like you can see, there's only one bit of foil, and that's because I think they don't really, like if they mix together, it's not such a big deal. So he does it in layers and then does bits in the mostly blue I asked for, and then some of them have little bits of green and some of them have bits of purple, and yeah, and then just sort of go through, you sort of go layer by layer in the hair, and then there you go, leave it for a bit, and then you put a foil over it to protect it while doing the back. And with the back, yellow especially will pick up like all the reds and stuff, so to keep the yellows nice, you've got to put like foils in between them. So yeah, doing layers and layers in that as well. Yeah, it took a long time, probably compared to if you're just doing one color, because he's got to like do section by section. I'm one of those people who always gets complicated stuff done, but that's why I went to him, because when you look at Doppelganger's Facebook page and Instagram and all that, it's a little bit more conservative and it hasn't really changed over the years. Whereas when you look at Escape Hair's Facebook page and Instagram, there's so much more interesting color stuff, and it's sort of like what fur used to be, but like a smaller, smaller sort of production, and it's not this huge crowded thing, and it doesn't take forever while they're dealing with other people. He basically focused on me, and then I think while the bleach was going on, he had like one person just for a haircut because the bleaching takes a while. So yeah, otherwise he was just focused on me the entire time. So yeah, very, very efficient, and I'm so happy with it, but let's move on. So yeah, here we go with the after picture again, and a bit more of a close up. And so talking about the colors, right? Okay, so I'm calling this ocean volcano style, because that's kind of what I was asking for. I went in and I'm like, look, I want the front to be long and ocean colors, I want the back to be short and fire and like exploding, and so there you go, ocean volcano. Now, symbolically, obviously, this is a duality thing. You guys know me, especially like I'm trying to get my head back together and all that, and sort of, you know, after this hairstyle, I feel a lot more like me again, instead of just like boring long brown hair, post-depression, you know, just waiting for life to happen. No, that's, I'm done with that. I've moved on. This is me. I'm back. And yeah, because like before I had hair color done, like I was sort of like, yeah, when I straightened it, that very first one I showed you with the Gothic Lolita and all that, like that was fun, but I didn't really start to feel like, yes, this is a thing that's me, until I started doing the hair color. So now I feel like I'm back in that. But yeah, so symbolically, I'll read you some of the stuff that I wrote in my like friends only album. Well, I'll just read it because I need to go to bed. I've got bonsai tomorrow. I'm filming this on a Tuesday. Again, did I film the last one on a Tuesday? I don't even remember. Okay. Ocean Volcano, you guys know I love duality, and yeah, I considered a left-right split, but to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of asymmetry, and when it comes to my personality, I show the ocean a lot more than the fire these days. But the fire's still there waiting to explode. Front back split. See how well it works? So yeah, ocean at the front, because that's what I'm showing. So it's like outwards, you know, and then inside is where all the fire's going on. Pretty sure that's self-explanatory, but just in case anyone needed a little bit more. And I've got another note, because some of you will be like, the ocean's not always that calm, you know. Yeah, the ocean can be calm or it can be crazy. Just thought I'd mention that before you get too comfortable. I do tend to get symbolic with my hair, and a lot of thought went into this one. And yeah, I think this might be my forever hair. I'm not sure. I used to change like so much. You guys have seen it, like every few months I was changing. But I think this one, you know, like I really put a lot of thought into it. Like, what do I really want with my hair? And looking at my past hair, some of the things I did that I don't like, you know, doing the black at the front all the time. For one thing, black's kind of boring. And then when you want to change, it's so difficult. Whereas if you go for these more colorful things, it's easier to strip it out when you do want to change. Yeah, but so just thinking about my personality and what I want to show, and the colors and all that. Yeah, and so like the volcano, oh my god, someone made a noise. Anyway, so the volcano obviously destroy a part of my personality, the more aggressive, like raw kind of stuff. But yeah, in the past little while, that hasn't been as strong for me. It just comes and goes in like little things like agitations and so on, and can't really do a lot with it. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get there. It's just, especially the past week or so, I don't know. I'm just, especially like, I think I'm past the most exciting stuff for me personally with Angel, and now we're into the like, yes, there's dark stuff going on, but I'm not feeling it. Or maybe that's just where I am, and maybe where I am right now is the reason I'm not feeling it. I don't know. Basically, not as much of a thing. Pretty obvious though. Fire, volcanoes, explosions. I have a book all about volcanoes that I've never really read, but it looks nice on the bookshelf. Big hardcover thing, with amazing pictures. Yeah, fire, destruction, blah, 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 blah. Alright, so ocean is a bit more complicated because, yes, water, calming, but the ocean can also get crazy and stormy, and that's like me anyway. I mean, also if you think about like depression and some of my mood swings that aren't related to the crazier, like destructive parts of me, ocean, it fits like everything really nicely. And you know, even if I'm not all aggro, I might still drown you in a different sort of like grr. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that going on, and I like the blue and the red. I mean, though, when I was thinking about styles to do, could do left and right, but that's been done so many times, and when I look at it, it just throws me off because like the color balance just isn't right. And yeah, I can't do that. I thought about also like blacks and whites, but they're too difficult. Like white, you really have to get done sort of perfectly, and black is so hard to change later. And I thought about, well, you could do like red and black and white and blue, but that combination is difficult. And then we're getting into like blue eyes, white dragon, red eyes, black dragon kind of stuff. And I was like, you know, no, I'm just gonna be an ocean volcano. Anyway, we've looked at this photo enough, so I'll show you a few more. I just think I just gotta skip through a few. Oh yeah, so side view, this one is publicly viewable. And this really is my haircut, I think. Like if you've seen all the ones through this video, we've got long front, short back, spiking it up. Hell yeah, I love it. I think that's just me. And then from the back, you've got this, and it really looks like, yeah, exploding, but also with like a bird of paradise kind of thing. Like I'm sort of strutting, yeah, showing off. But yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna style this on my own. Is like, you can do it upside down, and I'll see how I go. I'm just gonna have to get really good at, you know, figuring out all that stuff. And oh my god, I've got to see if I've still got my silk pillowcases to sleep on this, because that messes it up less compared to if you've got just regular fabrics. If I can dig them up, I might change those, because I got bonsai tomorrow, and I'm not gonna go this crazy. I might just like braid this bit to keep them out of the way rather than using a headband, because the other thing is when you've got fresh bright colors, they tend to leak everywhere. Like, oh, have I got any? Like, just rubbing the edges is around here. I got blue like on my fingertips, and that's gonna take a little while. It probably won't really go away until I've had a proper shower with proper shampoo. But once you start showering, shampooing it, the colors do tend to come out. So I'm gonna hold out as long as I can and just wipe away the excess every morning. But even like just coming home with my fringe like that, rubbing against it, yeah, I got a bit sort of around there, which you probably can't see because I already cleaned it a bit, but it's gonna keep coming. Yeah, no, I'm trying not to put it behind my ears because it looks better if it's, you know, out like that so you can see everything. But anyway, there's a lot of dye around my ears too that I'm gonna have to clean. So when I'm wearing like masks, if I wear my mask at work, it's probably gonna get stained blue all around the ear. But anyway, here's me walking home in Newtown, and yeah, turning heads in Newtown, not so much, because Newtown, they're kind of used to wackos with crazy hair. But when I got to my home suburb, which is a fair bit more conservative, and I must be the craziest person, like the craziest hair in the entire place, yeah, a lot of people sort of like, they try not to look, but then they can't help it. But the people in cars are funniest because I think everywhere in Australia you've got tinted windows because the sun's really hot, and so people think that you can't see them. But I'm definitely seeing people driving along going like, instead of watching the road, they're watching me, and yeah, I don't know, at some point I might accidentally cause a car crash just from looking so amazing. But yeah, that was pretty fun walking around like that. Oh my goodness. And then here's the last one, me on the train, wearing a mask as you should. I mean, in Sydney, in New South Wales, they're like, please wear a mask on public transport, but they're not making us, so I'm one of the good ones. Yes, I have crazy hair, but I'm well behaved. How about that? And yeah, I was wearing contacts today, probably you noticed. Because like in the past I would just take off my glasses, but I wanted to be able to see things, and you know, I've got a whole stack of contacts still left over from Hollowscream last year. That's when I got a bunch. So yeah, I was actually able to see everything, and it really makes a difference not having to wear glasses. Oh my god. But yeah, no, also I just realized that I didn't when I was when I set this up like OBS to capture my screen, I actually had it on a different setting, so that if I had something open, it would see. Is it shifted? I couldn't see because I was playing with the thing, but yeah, the bottoms of these pictures might have been cut off, but it's not a big deal. I'm just, for my own sort of like obsessiveness, like I've just filmed this all wrong. But yeah, no, I think you've seen all the bits and pieces. Oh my god, I keep thinking there's like something else I was going to say back when we were looking at the last picture, but I can't remember what it was. Like people looking at me, car crashes, I don't know. Oh, I remember going through it. That helps. So yeah, you remember like when I was working at Officeworks and I did my Officeworks hair, right? Okay, one of the fun things about having colored hair like this is when I was working that job, people knew that I was good at what I do. Like, yes, I look crazy, I look like I probably have issues, and yes, I do, but I'm also smart enough to figure out the machines and obsessive enough to like do everything properly. So, yeah, when I was working at Officeworks, quite often you'd get customers calling up asking if the girl with the colored hair was there, or if I wasn't and they brought in a job, they'd be like, I want the girl with the colored hair to do this. So yeah, all my regulars, they might not have known my name, some of them I think did, but generally people knew me by my colored hair. It'll be interesting to see if like when I walk around that area again, whether any of the regulars recognize me, although things have changed a lot at the store I used to work at, so maybe they won't have. I don't know, the place went crazy. That's one of the reasons I left. Like I was so stressed out by the end, which is a shame because I used to love that job. But anyway, yeah, no, people knowing me by my hair, this is like, unfortunately, YouTube has mostly so far seen me in boring hair mode because, yeah, I did most of this stuff without you guys while I was taking my break from YouTube. But now you can see what I'm really like in a way. I mean, you've seen so much of the inside of my head already. But yeah, no, actually, since we're talking, I'll bring us back to the webcam only thing. And so we can see a bit more of our hair, I will change this to a blur. Ooh, isn't that fancy? And we can turn around a little bit and hopefully it still shows it without blurring it. I don't know, because it might not recognize that that is in fact my head. It might want to blur it. Anyway, how fun is this camera mode? Ah, yeah, blurring the background so it's less distracting, right? I don't know. Let me know what you think of all this stuff. I could film everything like this, but that means I have to use OBS because the usual camera app I use to film doesn't like that the broadcast thing is doing stuff. I guess because the other... actually, no, I don't know why. Anyway, so this is me now. And I feel a lot more like myself again. Like this is me. And yeah, it might be my forever hair. I don't know. We'll see. I really needed this. I had been waiting. Here we go with the end ramble, okay? Because I know this has been a really long video. I started filming and editing it before today, and it was like... Anyway, so, end ramble. The reason I had the long brown hair for so long, I mean, I got there because I was depressed, but the reason I kept it and didn't do this straight away is because, you know, I've been looking for a band, right? And I thought, well, since my hair is boring again, the thing about long natural hair is you can do anything with it. So I was thinking if I joined a band and they had a particular image, I could easily change my hair to suit that. So if they had something dark and gloomy, or if they had something colorful, or if they wanted something more punk, like I would even have done a mohawk or, you know, shaved bits and pieces, depending on what they wanted. But yeah, no, I've been waiting too long. I just need to do something for myself. I need to be myself. Fuck them. And really, if I want to find a band that I like, that suits me, they should really get over it and deal with my hair, you know? So this is me now. Another reason, though, that I didn't do it sooner is because last year for Halloween, if you remember that, I had the long brown hair as like the long Asian ghost kind of thing. I mean, it would have been better if it was black. I think maybe I've mentioned this previously, but very spooky kind of The Ring look. And so yeah, I was sort of waiting to see if I got in this year and if they did Yokai. None of that happened. Neither of them. I didn't get in. They didn't do Yokai. So I could do all this, and I could do it now before Halloween. I don't really celebrate the Halloween stuff, but it's just how the timing worked out. And my godmother has been on me to do something about my hair for 2 years. Like, I think for my 30th, she was going to, you know, get me my hair cut for my 30th. And then now my 32nd has come along and still didn't do my hair. I think last year we did the Taronga Zoo Wild Rips. But yeah, I've finally done it. Finally fixed my hair up. It's like tidier, it's less weight, it's ready for summer. So I'm not going to die with all that heat. And I just, it's such a relief. Finally feel more like me. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this really long journey, catching you up on all my hair shenanigans, because if you're not a friend of mine on Facebook with access to my private albums, you'll have missed a lot of this stuff. Only a handful of you have maybe seen hair. Oh, I did do some videos with colored hair, but not a whole lot. I was just doing other things with my life, and yeah, but I'm back, and this is me. And if you don't like it, well, screw you. I'm going to go to bed because there's no way I'm going to be able to edit this tonight. And yeah, I'm sorry this has all been so long and taken so long and whatever. But cool. How do I end videos?